We're gonna get to
Yeah.
getting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
welcome everybody. I think this is our fourth class, Nancy, officially?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Awesome. We are going to cover a lot of the same stuff we have. We're going to do a little bit of new stuff, but we're going to build slowly in pieces like always. First and foremost, I want you guys to remember this is an art of relaxation. And whether you're being soft in every movement is way more important than whether you're doing any given movement right. So just really focus on that softness and focus on the feeling of softness. All right. So we're going to start with our feet a little more than shoulder width apart. And we're going to make sure that the knees are slightly bent, pelvis is curled under, spine is long and straight, shoulders are relaxed. We're going to start by swinging the arms forward and backwards. And I want you to keep them swinging, but we're going to use the least amount of effort we can to make them swing. Breathe deep. Good, and then we're going to bring them up as high as we can and keep them swinging. Let your back gently begin to arch. And slowly let them stop swinging. Just let them stop on their own. Awesome. Then twisting from the dantian right behind the belly button. Arms loose and floppy like limp noodles. You're going to pay attention to the feeling of your arms moving through space, especially the feeling of gravity pulling the arms down and in. Make sure your arms are flopping into your body. If your shoulders are really soft, they'll flop like noodles. Relax the hips, the knees, and the ankles. Good, and back to center. Arms are going to float up all the way overhead, and we're going to stretch as tall as you can. Imagine you're hanging from your wrists. Let that stretch go all the way down to the root of the spine. And then swan dive to a forward fold. But don't push down into this, just let yourself hang. And we're going to wiggle anything it needs to wiggle. Fingers, wrist, elbows, shoulders, neck and spine, especially that tailbone. Wag that tailbone. Then inhale, rolling up one vertebra at a time, gently, slowly, softly. Good. Hands float all the way back overhead again, and we're going to clasp the fingers together. Pull one arm behind the head gently, and get a little bit of lateral flexion in the spine. So just gently leaning to the side, open the obliques, open the lats, switch. Switch. And switch. Release. Good. So sometimes I like to do shoulder circles, but today we're going to do arm circles. All the way up and back. Really imagine the inside of your rotator cuff melting like butter. And then reverse. Good. And shake it out. One arm comes across the front of the body, other arm goes underneath the elbow, pulling in gently. And we're going to rotate up and down softly. Visualize that shoulder melting. And switch. Rotating up and down. In yoga, the stretches are held stiff, static. In Tai Chi, all of our stretches are moving stretches. We're releasing far more muscle fibers that way. Going deeper into the joints, the fascia, the tendons, and the ligaments. All right, and then behind the back, one arm comes out, comes all the way around behind your back. If you can, grab your elbow, the inside of your elbow pit. If not, go for your wrist. That arm's going to come out to the side, and then we're going to twist all the way around the front of our body. The arm that's behind you, make sure and consciously relax that shoulder. It's going to want to tense up, but you want to relax it. You have to relax a muscle in order to stretch it. And gently back to the center. Release and shake it out. Other arm behind the back, elbow pit if you can. Arms out to the side, and then we're going to twist to the opposite direction. Relax that rear shoulder. And gently come back to center, release, and shake it out. Good, now we're going to arch the back. Do you guys see my roommate climbing around in the floor? You don't have to climb, you don't have to hide. Spidey. Okay, we're going to arch the back as far as you can, and then wiggle any way you need to wiggle to make that more comfortable. And then we're going to reverse that and flex the back the other direction. Wiggle anything that needs to wiggle. Good. And flex the back again. Deep breath. And, arch. Now we're going to flex. Go forward. Good, and back up to the center. Fists come together, height of the chest, and we're going to inhale to the left, exhale to the right. And back to center. Good, and hip circles. Start small. Find a circle. Search for any tightness, any tension, any pain, and you want to move through that tightness. Slowly let that circle get bigger. Reverse. Reverse. See how big you can get it. Reverse. Good. Feet together. Hands on the knees. Circles with the knees. Reverse. And reverse. Good. Toes into the ground. Circles with the heels. Reverse. Switch. Reverse. Okay, beautiful. We're going to start with balance today. You're going to come onto one foot. I don't care which foot it is. You're going to pick that toe up and you're going to see just where your balance is just out of the gate. Just see where we're at. Okay, if you can't keep that foot up, try to figure out why. Try to find where your balance is. Where does it exist in your body? It's going to be really close to your dantian. The center of your body is going to be your center of gravity. Switch. We're just testing it out of the gate. And then we're going to see how much it improves with just a little bit of practice. Good. And both feet down. All right, so we're going to do a couple of things to practice real quick. We're going to come back onto the first foot, and we're going to bend the knee slightly and soften the hips. Then I want you to think about your body like a jellyfish and imagine you're in the water, that you're floating in the water. And you're going to let your hip, your knee, and your ankle soften enough so that your whole body can float in the water. And you can use your arms like tentacles or whatever to help you feel the buoyancy of that water. The arms are very, very important for balance. Once you get balance deep enough, you don't really need the arms. But when you're learning balance, it's like the pole the guys use on tight ropes. The arms help you feel the volume of this space. Switch. And we're going to bend that knee a little bit, soften the hip, soften the ankle. Let the body float like a jellyfish. Switch. Notice where balance comes from. Balance comes from feeling. It comes from sensation. Also comes from vision. If you close your eyes, it'll be a lot harder. The third system of balance is vestibular. That's the inner ear. That's why if you spin around for a while, you'll be dizzy because that liquid inside your ear keeps spinning. Good. Check it out. So I want you guys to remember, balance comes from feeling. You cannot think your way into balance. It only comes from feeling, and it only comes from practice. Most important key to balance is softening. If your body is stiff, you're going to do this. And every time you adjust your weight, you're throwing yourself off balance again, like when you're learning to drive a car and you're back and forth, right? Well, like when you're driving that car, you got to learn to like soften. And then you can straighten out. And the same thing applies to balance. This keeps throwing us off. But if you learn to soften every one of those moves, just like that steering wheel, you start to come to like, oh, here we go. There it is. Like I got it. Right? So think about your balance like that steering wheel and try to avoid the jerks. You know, let's take the student driver off the back of the car and let's drive like we know what we're doing, right? Okay, so we're going to take balance into walking. Everybody step back a couple of steps. Okay, now I call this the shot glass walk. Some people call it Zen walking. It really doesn't matter what you call it, but you're going to imagine that you have a shot glass in the center of your heart. And we're going to fill that shot glass to the absolute brim, all the way to the top with your favorite liquid. I don't care if it's Everclear. Your favorite liquid is going to be filled up in the shot glass. And what we're going to do is we're going to not spill a drop of that as we walk. So you're going to walk forward slow enough and soft enough so that you don't spill a drop of your favorite liquid. Now you are going to spill, and I want you to pay attention to where you do and notice why you spilled. Was it your hip? Was it your knee? Was it your ankle? Walk slow and soft enough that you don't spill a drop. Beautiful. Stop. And now backwards. Don't spill a drop. And stop. Okay, so we're going to do it one more time, and I don't care how well you did it that time. This time I want you to do it better. All the way to the brim and forward. Don't spill. Patience is a key. Softness in the hips, knees, and ankles is key. Softness in putting that foot down is key. Stop and backwards. Okay, good. And now everyone turn this direction. So now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to walk sideways. And the way we're going to do that is the foot that's to the back, the foot that's away from me, is going to cross in front of the foot that's closest to me. So you're going to take a step towards me by crossing that back foot in front. And then that foot's going to come to here. And then that same foot's going to go behind and then kind of come to here. So everybody stop real quick. Watch me. We're doing this. Okay, but you're going to do it coming towards me. So go back again. And now we're going to do that with that shot glass in mind, trying not to spill the whole time. And don't get frustrated because you do spill. Keep trying not to spill because that's where the learning's going to come from. Ready? And crossing that step over, crossing back. Going in front of the foot one time, going behind the foot the next time. Imagine you're walking on rice paper and you don't want to make a sound, like a ninja. Good. Stop and reverse. And stop. And one more time, coming forward. Be patient, soften the hips, soften the ankles. Pretend you're a ninja. Stop and backwards.
Back to where we were or backwards?
Back to where you were.
Okay.
Other direction, sorry. Good, check it out. And back to original spots. Make sure you can see yourself in the picture, the camera, perfect. And we're going to warm the hands up, use friction to create heat, and then make more heat.
I have to tell my machine not to do what it wants to do. They can create heat. It's decided it wants to update, and I said no.
Good. Now stop rubbing your hands and notice what happens to the heat. Everybody feel the heat dissipate? Let's do it again. Use friction to create heat. Feel the heat. Stop. Notice what happens to the heat. Feel it dissipate. Good. Hands up overhead. You're going to notice how you know your hands are over your head if your eyes are closed, because you can feel them. So notice what the hands feel like overhead. When I say release, we're going to let them swing down in front of us as long as they can until they stop on their own naturally. And release. Notice what they feel like down. It's going to feel distinctly different than up. Good. We're going to do it one more time. Hands up in the air. Notice the tension in the shoulders required to hold the hands up. Notice the feeling of the blood in the fingertips draining down into the arms. Even notice the feeling of the air on your skin. All signals that your hands are above your head. Relax even more this time and let them swing until they stop. Good. Now with the shoulders completely relaxed, notice what the hands feel like down. And then as slowly and as gently as you possibly can, we're going to let the hands float up. See if you can let them float so slowly you cannot feel them move. Notice that you can't. No matter how slowly you move, you still feel your hands moving. Otherwise, you wouldn't know they were moving. In Tai Chi, the slower we move and the softer we are, the more we feel. So everything we're doing, we're cultivating softness and slowness. Now we're going to let the hands sink down so slowly you cannot feel them move. Good, and shake it out. Notice what your body feels like when you generate just a tiny bit of actual awareness. It changes the feeling of your whole body. So now we're going to take that feeling, we're going to take that awareness deeper through different movements, different parts of the body. We're going to start by holding a big beach ball. Shoulders are completely relaxed, arms are floating like seaweed in the ocean, palms facing towards each other. And we're going to let the hands float towards each other as slowly as possible. And we're just going to notice the feeling of the space as we move through it. Hands slowly and gently floating towards each other. Focusing on the sensation of the space. And then we're going to see how close we can get the hands together without actually touching. Beautiful. Now let the hands get really close like you're going to clap, but don't actually touch. And we're going to do really small circles like you're washing your hands. Really slow, really small circle like you're waxing a car. And just notice what the space feels like as you move through it. Notice that one hand seems to be aware of the other. Good. Now we're going to pulse, which means we're going to push in really slightly and then release. Push in really slightly and release. And we're just going to find the center of that connection, the center of that awareness. Good. Now, once we've found the center of that connection, now we're going to breathe through it. So with the inhale, we're going to expand that space outwards just a tiny bit. And with the exhale, we're going to contract that space just a tiny bit. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Beautiful. Now both palms are going to float right below the belly, fingertips pointing towards each other. Shoulders are completely relaxed. And we're going to inhale, letting the hands float up like helium balloons. Inhale, floating effortlessly. Splash the face with electric chi water. Palms turn down. And we exhale, everything in the body drains down into the earth. And we relax even more. Inhale, floating up. Splash the face. Exhale, draining down. Use each repetition as an invitation to relax a little bit deeper. Focusing on the sensation of space as you move through it. Beautiful. Now the fingertips are going to lead straight up the center through the spine, all the way out the crown with the inhale. Palms turn out, and we exhale down all around in a big sphere. Pulling everything back into the root, up through the spine with the inhale, out through the crown. Exhale down all around. Relax even more. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Left hand's going to float over the third eye. Right hand floats over the root. Shoulders are completely relaxed. Arms are floating like seaweed in the ocean. Now we're going to imagine that we're breathing through our palms, like we have gills in the centers of our hands. Inhale and exhale through the palms. Notice what that visualization feels like. Notice how your mind can directly affect your body. Notice how your thoughts can directly affect sensation. Beautiful. Now slowly and gently as possible with the inhale, let both hands switch places. Inhale. Exhale, switch back. Inhale, switch. Exhale, back. Relax even more. Slow your movement just a tiny bit and notice what that does to the sensation. Notice what that does to awareness. Beautiful. Letting both hands float over the heart center, but not touching. One palm over the other. Imagine a pillar of white light coming out of your heart, moving through both palms. And we're going to inhale, letting the hands float out just a tiny bit, expanding. And exhale with the hands contracting inwards just a tiny bit. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Beautiful. Now we're going to take this pillar of light and we're going to wind it forward gently. We're going to let it wind up like taffy. The slower you move, the softer you are, the thicker the feeling of this taffy will become. Feel this taffy getting pulled out of your heart center, pulling all the armor, all the fear off of the heart, letting it open and breathe. Imagine your heart opening like a lotus flower. Beautiful. Now that we built up a charge, let's see what that charge feels like. We're going to let the hands float about waist height, palms facing up. Shoulders are completely relaxed. We're going to let the hands float up slowly and gently like helium balloons. And they're going to float up until you begin feeling the shape of your face without actually touching it. Notice where your hands become aware of your face and where your face becomes aware of your hands. It will be sooner than you expect it to. And then we're going to see how close we can get the hands to the face without actually touching. Then explore the shape of your face. Notice different parts feel different. Slowly and gently let the hands float down and explore the space around your torso. Let both hands meet one over the other at the base of the spine. And then both hands are going to float up slowly and gently. All the way back up to the face. Now visualize that contact, that connection. And with the inhale, let that connection expand outward just a tiny bit. And with the exhale, let that contract just a tiny bit. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, contracting. Beautiful. Now visualize that connection, and we're going to hold on to it and let it stretch out like taffy as the hands slowly sink back down like helium balloons. Let that connection stretch out like taffy. And slowly coming all the way back down to the sides. Beautiful. And shake it out. Notice what your body feels like. Notice what your mind feels like. I always feel fluffy. Okay, we got about 20 minutes left. We're going to move into all of that with Qigong, warm-ups, Tai Chi walking, Qigong. We're going to move into some of the combinations. These movements, the only difference between these movements and Qigong movements, every one of the movements in Tai Chi is either an attack or a block, a neutralization. Okay, so the only difference, but we're going to do the movements with the exact same softness, the exact same awareness of space. Okay, so we're going to start feet double shoulder width apart. You guys stay facing forward. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see my arms. We're going to let the arms float up in front of us and then sink down. But the way we're going to do this is visualize a wave coming out of the chest, pushing the elbows first, then the wrists, the fingertips drag behind, and roll over the top of this wave and sink down. Good, and then we're going to add the breath. We're going to inhale as we float up. And we're going to exhale as we slip down the backside of that wave. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Imagine you're doing this underwater, and you can feel the pressure in front of you, and you can feel the drag behind you. One more. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, floating down. Good. So this movement is a block. We'll find out how later. And now we're going to take that move into an attack because everything is yin and then yang. We're standing facing. We're going to turn to face this way, but leave your feet pretty much where they are. You can twist them, but leave them so you got one foot in front of the other. We're facing this way. Okay? So we're going to shift our weight onto that front foot. Arms are going to float up in front of us. Then we're going to shift our weight back as the hands roll over the top of a ball. They come back in towards your center, your core. And then we're going to exhale as we push through cotton. And we shift to that side. So now we're going to inhale, shift back, and roll over that ball. Exhale, push through cotton. Good. So this is a block. Inhale, rolling over the ball. Exhale, push through cotton. This would be grabbing somebody's rib cage and pushing them away. Inhale, floating. Exhale, pushing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Everybody watch me. When we do the shift, the spine stays straight. Okay, we don't want to lean back and we don't want to lean forward. That puts us off balance. Spine stays straight and it's here. Much better. Good. Switch sides. Shifting the weight forward, raising the arms up, rolling over a ball, shift back. Exhale, push through cotton. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Back to center. Shake it out. Arm circles. This is a block also. Arm comes across the front of the body, up and over, and down. Across the front of the body, up and over, and down. Now let that arm be as soft as an octopus tentacle. Let that shoulder relax. And let the arm drag behind the shoulder like a rope in the water. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, draining down. Good. And reverse. Same arm, but now it goes out and up. And we twist the wrist as it comes across the front. Palm faces down as the arm floats up. As the arm comes across, we twist the palm to face us. And we inhale, floating out and up. We exhale, draining down. Inhale. Exhale. One more, softer, floating up, sinking down. Beautiful. Other arm. Going to come across the body first. Overhead, blade edge of the hand leads, wrist is soft. And then we swivel the hand towards us as we cross the front. Palm faces down as we float up. Blade edge of the hand leads. And we inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Good. And now we reverse. We float out and up, palm facing down. Cross the body, palm twist towards us. Exhale, sinking. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Last one. Softer, softer, softer. Good. Shake it out. And now, Nancy, turn around. And what's our other new person's name?
Linda.
Linda. Linda, turn around. Okay, so you guys are going to stand straight facing your partners. And we're going to start with Andy and Joanne. You guys are going to reach, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to be reaching towards your partner's chest. Stand close enough so that you can touch them. Stand close enough that you can touch them. Okay. So you guys look back at me real quick. Andy and Joanne are going to take turns reaching. In traditional martial arts, this would be punching, but we don't need to punch. We're just going to reach, and we're going to reach about this speed. One hand, and then the other. And what Linda and Nancy are going to do is you're going to do this, circle one way, circle the other way, to feel how this is a block. So when they reach with one hand, that same hand is going to do this. And when they reach with that hand is going to do this. Make sense? Reach slowly, one hand. Okay, stop. Nancy, face Joanne. And your right arm is going to go out and up. Out and up, come across you. Yes, now your left arm is going to go out and up. No, out and up. Come across you. Right arm out and up. One circle, other arm out and up. Keep doing that. Now, Joanne, reach towards her. Don't speed up. Don't speed up. Slowly. Now, whenever that makes sense to you guys, Linda, and yep, perfect. Punchers or grabbers, try to match the speed of your partner. Slow down. Everybody slow down. And Joanne, you should just be reaching straight towards her. Don't do a circle. You're reaching straight towards her and let her block that arm with her circle. Punchers, grabbers, whatever, slow down enough to move with your partner. Okay, now everybody stop. And grabbers, I want you to go. You're going to move really slowly. Either hand you want, you're going to reach out to grab your partner, and your partner is going to block with the opposite arm. So do that same, that same block. Nope, stop. Okay, so if Andy reaches at Linda with his left hand, reach with your left hand. She's going to block. Nope, she's going to block with her right. If he reaches with his right hand, she's going to block with her left. So you want to block with the same side of your body? Yes, exactly. Make sure that you're actually blocking. It doesn't look like you guys are even touching Linda and Andy. You should actually be blocking his hand from touching you. Okay, and everybody stop. And now we're going to reverse. So Joanne and Andy are going to block. Do your circles slowly. Let me see your circles. Don't reach for them yet. I want to see their circles. Don't reach for them yet. Arm goes out and up. Circle. Nope. Andy, out and up. That way. Yep. Out and up. Out and up. Out and up. Out and up. You're crossing in front of your body, Andy. I want you to go out and up. There you go. That way and the other way. There you go. And then whenever you're ready, start the reaching. Reach slow and gentle and let them block your hand before you get to touch them. Coming out and over. Yes. You want to gently lead their hand down with that circle. Swipe across and lead that hand down and away from you. Good. Everyone turn and face me. So that's this movement. This is a block. When we reverse that, we come across the body up into the outside. Across the body up into the outside. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're doing this instead of this. Okay? We're crossing and coming out. Okay? And reverse of last time, if you guys are facing each other and this person is using that arm, I was going to use this arm. So it's same arm last time. Now it's going to be the opposite arm. When they're using that arm, I'm going to use this arm to block. When they use that arm, I'm going to use this arm to block. So you guys turn around and we'll make sure this makes sense. Okay, so only because I can see your right arm, Joanne, reach out towards Nancy. Don't move, Nancy. Okay, so now Nancy's right arm is going to move across the front of her body. Nope, that's your left arm. At least right arm across the front, and then do a big circle, brush her arm away. Good. Now your other arm, Joanne, and she's going to brush the other. Exactly. So you guys just do that. Feel that arm coming to reach, and reach straight out at her, Joanne. Don't like do a circle. Reach straight out at her. This is like almost like you're trying to punch her, but do it slow. Make sure and stay slow because we're training the neuromuscular connections. Meeting the hand and then leading it away from you. Good. Now just for fun, let yourselves speed up. Nice, Linda. Nice, Nance. Nance needs to speed up a little bit. She's got to, don't let her touch you. Yeah. Awesome. And stop. Now, if you guys practice this every week, can you imagine what's going to happen if someone tries to reach out and grab you? Right? It's going to be instantaneous. Okay? Like seriously. Good job. Everybody facing forward. Bounce. Let your whole body bounce like a spring. Relax the hips, the knees, the ankles. Good. Warm the hands up again. And clap. Good. Hands down by the side. Gonna hold the ball in front of you. Palms facing up, fingertips facing towards each other. Inhale, floating up, shoulders completely relaxed. Splash the face with water. Exhale, palms down, everything drains down. Good. Again, relax even more. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Again, inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Beautiful. Now to close our space, hands are down by the side. We're going to let the hands float up and out. Wrists are totally soft. Inhale, floating up. Fingertips point towards each other overhead. Exhale, everything in the body drains down into the earth. Relax even more. Inhale, floating up. Imagine water dripping down off your fingertips. Exhale, draining down, letting the body melt like butter. Last one, the most effortless thing you've ever done in your life. Inhale, floating up. Hands come together in prayer pose. Exhale down to the heart center. Allowing your awareness to rest effortlessly in the center of every sensation. Accepting every sensation because every sensation is true. And every sensation is you. We accept everything exactly as it is because everything already is. Anything else only creates tension inside of our own bodies and minds. The body, mind, and spirit are not separate components, merely different aspects of the same one experience. The more we unify the body, mind, and spirit through movement, breath, and awareness, the more effortless life becomes. Namaste. Good job, guys. Stretch all your stuff out. Anybody have any questions before we get along?
Andy's gonna get down on the floor again so he can get up.
Hurt that back. Oh my goodness.
It's all right. Just take it. It's okay. At least it's still on the weak side, but it'll get better.
All right.
All feels good, but it's just these muscles I seem
Right.
to be a little weak. It's okay.
So, Nance, that's what I call, martial work. We call it, application. Typically, like when I was teaching at Gold's Gym, I would do that once a month. So like every 2 or 3 weeks, I would have everybody pair up and we would actually do applications so we can see how these movements apply. Every one of the movements is a neutralization or an attack. If people have fun with it, you can do it more often than that. But if you do that too much, nobody ends up learning the forms, And if you noticed, I stayed away from form stuff today, primarily because we have a newbie. And newbies, you don't want to get them all confused. You want to get them feeling and moving and connected. And once they get that, then they can deal with, okay, so now I'm feeling weird and I don't remember and like whatever. And you kind of ease them in. So any class where I had newbies, I would always focus more on Qigong than Tai Chi type, choreography. Any questions? Any comments?
Have you ever done Tai Chi, Linda?
Yeah.
She did a good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So stopping that one. Great.